Hello, I'm Dawn Nelson. I'm here at C&C Kitchens today and I've got some lovely healthy recipes in my healthy series. All the recipes are in the description, so if you'd like to make them at home, all the quantities will be in there. So what I'm going to show you now is a frittata, and it's a pepper frittata, and I mean obviously you can use any ingredients in a frittata, but it's a lovely healthy quick brunch or breakfast lunchtime idea. It's very quick, very easy, and also very nutritious. It's basically using eggs. It's like an omelette, but a very thick omelette, and contains lots of vegetables as well. So lovely with a crisp salad and a lovely sort of lunchtime alternative as well. So what I'm going to do, I've got a tablespoon of oil, which I'm heating up in my frying pan. It's good if you can, to make a frittata, to use a really good non-stick pan, because with a frittata you need to start it on the bottom, finish it in the grill, and then flip it over so that you've got the bottom on the top so you can see all the vegetables. So your pan needs to be quite a good non-stick one if possible. So this one serves about sort of 6 people, but if you wanted a smaller portion you could obviously use the smaller frying pan and decrease the ingredients. So what I'm going to do first is fry off my onion. So I've diced a red onion, and again you can use brown onions, it doesn't really matter. I quite like the sweetness that you get from a red onion. So quite finely diced, and that needs to cook off just for a couple of minutes until that's nice and soft. At this point you could add some garlic to this as well. Again, if you're a garlic lover, that will give the frittata a really nice flavour. Now, good thing about the frittata is most people have eggs in their cupboards, in their fridge. Most people have lots of other sort of vegetables that might need using up. So you can vary the ingredients according to what you've got in your fridge and what you want to use up at the time. And it makes a really quick, easy, nutritious meal if you haven't got nothing else, much else in the cupboard at home and need to use things up. I have already, just to save some time, I've already cooked some potatoes. So these were new potatoes, which I've cut into quite large chunks and boiled them. And just for about 10 and 15 minutes or 10-12 minutes until they're soft and tender, because the frittata just goes under the grill and all cooks in the pan. The potato doesn't cook anymore, so the potato needs to be cooked before you add it to the pan with the rest of the ingredients. So that's the potato. I'm now going to add the pepper. Now I've got a red and a yellow pepper, just because they're lovely colours. Again, whatever you've got at home, green one as well. I love the colours of the red and the yellow together, make a really nice colour combination. Potatoes and courgettes are now going in as well. So potatoes, which are already cooked, so I'm just going to warm them through. And I've got one small courgette, which I've cut into quarters and then sliced very thinly. And they're going in there as well. Now this all needs to cook through. The courgette needs to soften slightly, as well as the peppers and the onion, before you start adding your eggs for the frittata and before you start flattening it. So I'm just going to leave that to cook for a few minutes. Most frittatas is just eggs that you add in with the vegetables, and then you pop it up under the grill for the rest of the egg to actually go solid and cook through. I like to actually whisk up some of my egg whites, because it makes a really nice, fluffy, nice textured frittata. So what I have done, this is a 6-egg frittata. I've got my 6 eggs in here, but 2 of the egg whites I've whisked, so that when I mix all these in together, it'll be be a really nice sort of floaty, sort of more foamy, eggy texture, which I find is nice to have a little bit of aeration in there. So a couple more minutes and we're cooked through. And then when you've mixed the eggs together, it literally just goes under the grill for about 5 to 7 minutes on quite a high grill. So I've had that pre-set in already, so that the egg mixture puffs up and it also cooks the rest of the egg that's not cooked when you do it on the hob. So everything's cooked through now. I think the peppers are probably nice and softened, as well as the onions and the courgette as well. It's quite nice to have a little bit of bite to your vegetables. What I want to do now is just flatten it a little bit. So because a frittata cooks quite solid, and in fact when you do take it out and you turn it out of the pan, you can cut it and it's quite firm into wedges. So I'm just going to press this down so we've got some sort of firmness in the pan. And then I'm going to mix my egg white, which I've mixed up here, with my egg, the rest of my eggs. So I've got the I've got 6 eggs here, other than 2 of the whites which I've taken out, and that mixes in with the whites, so we get a nice foamy egg mixture, and that just whisks up nicely, as you can see, and then that just pours on top of the frittata. You can see it's all nice and foamy, you've got a lot of aeration in there. So what I want to do now is just to mix the vegetables into it slightly. I want to turn the heat down and slightly start to cook the egg around the edge, just so that you can see the vegetables on the top, so it's not just all egg on the top. And this is where you slightly cook the egg, but not completely, because it then goes into the grill to completely cook through. A couple more minutes up, and you can see it's starting to cook, so when you pull it away from the edge, it should be a little bit firmer. Let's just turn it up a little bit more so that it does cook a little bit before I pop it into the grill. And once it goes into the grill for those 5 minutes, it will double in size, will rise up and finish off the cooking of the egg, so it's not wet anymore, it's a little bit more firm and a little bit more solid. Just a couple more minutes. At this point I'm going to season this as well. It's very important to season. Lots of black pepper, give the frittata a nice flavour. Again, if you've got meat eaters, you could have some bacon lardons or some sliced ham, or some mushrooms would be quite nice as well. A great dish for using up leftovers. There we go, a bit of salt in there as well. You can see now that the frittata is starting to firm up a little bit around the edges. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop that onto a high grill, and then I'll show you the completed frittata. So the frittata is ready. It's been under the grill for about 7 minutes, and it's puffed up nicely and shrunk away from the edges. I then turned it upside down in the pan with a plate, so it's landed its bottom on the top, and there you have the frittata. I just garnished it with some chopped parsley, and then that can be cut into wedges and served with a salad. Makes a lovely substantial meal.